Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. I, 24 female, finished college and am on the path of finding my dream career. As of now, I'm working full-time and living with my roommate, Sam, 25 female, who also happens to be my best friend. Dividing the rent helps tremendously when it comes to saving money. We have also been completely inseparable during college and the 1 year it's been living together. It wasn't until Sam got a boyfriend that there became a distance between us. Understandably, Sam's boyfriend had been staying over a lot more than usual, and I wasn't all too comfortable around him because of the language he used towards Sam. I honestly tried getting along with him, but he was a walking red flag. Their relationship was pretty toxic, but Sam didn't see it and said you have to do things in love even if you don't want to. Sam and I started arguing over everything, and she would avoid me, not talking to me for days at a time. I tried my best to get her to see what he was doing to her and how much of a negative impact he had on her grades dropping, her losing her job, etc. But she saw past all that and says I'm just jealous she has a boyfriend and I don't. Sam's boyfriend had been living at our place for a month straight now, with no intentions of leaving. I didn't care as I worked full-time and came home pretty late. But in a few instances, I noticed my room was unlocked and a few small things were missing. Like a few of my collective figurines I'm super possessive of. I confronted the two of them, but they blatantly denied ever going into my room. I'm super careful when it comes to locking my room before leaving in the morning, as I have some pretty important things in there, like my passports, documentation, money, etc. So I installed a little room camera in my bedroom just in case and went about my day. Just 2 days after installing the room camera, I noticed my room was again unlocked and my things were not in their original places. So I ran to check my jewelry box I hid in my closet, as just the previous day I had taken a very valuable and very expensive necklace passed on for generations out of my bank locker and hid it in my closet. I needed it for my parents' vow renewal that night and planned on taking it back to the bank first thing in the morning. I quickly checked the camera footage and all my suspicions came to light. They were all true. I knew Sam and her boyfriend had been sneaking into my room in my absence and caught it all on camera. They messed around on my bed, then proceeded to go through all my drawers, my clothes and my closet, and ended up finding the necklace. Sam's boyfriend then proceeds to put it in his pocket and both of them, high and giddy, leave the room. I knew it would be a waste of time confronting them, so I immediately called my parents and told them, and we all headed to the police department. We showed them the video proof and told them the situation. They had enough evidence to place an arrest, so that's exactly what they did. Just a few hours later, both Sam and her boyfriend were detained, constantly saying that they didn't do anything, not knowing I had video proof of them breaking in and stealing. I pressed charges and we took the matter to court. Now, until the court hearing, both of them were to remain in remand. Update. The court hearing was a success. They both had no choice but to admit to stealing my necklace due to there being video evidence. Turns out Sam's boyfriend is good at picking locks, and that's how they were getting in all along. I later found out that since the necklace was worth well over $1,000, it was ruled a felony, and both Sam and her boyfriend will be given a prison sentence once the hearings begin. You did the right thing, OP. I'm so glad you were smart enough to put a security camera in your room. Without that evidence, they would have denied breaking into your room and stealing your necklace. Even though they were the only ones who could have done it, since you don't have other roommates, and a thief won't just steal things in your place alone. It's sad how your friendship with Sam turned out, but you tried to get her to see that her boyfriend was bad for her, but she didn't want to see it. I hope this prison sentence will be a wake-up call for her. Story 2. I, 50 female, told my daughter, 24 female, she needs to pay rent. She got out of college in February and struggled to find a job until October. I supported her during the job hunt and she's been living back home rent-free. I was excited for her for finally finding the job, especially when it is surprisingly well paying. She told me she won't get paid until late this month. I said it was fine, but she still needs to pay rent. The other day, she told me she planned a trip with her friends and was saving for plane tickets. I reminded her again that she still needs to pay rent, as it felt like she's trying to avoid rent so she could save money for the trip. She told me she would pay the rent, but deducted her credit card bill. Apparently, she wanted me to pay her credit card bill first, then keep the rest as rent. I told her it was unacceptable. She rolled her eyes and tried to walk away. In the heat of the moment, I said some unfortunate things. At the end of the fight, she finally agreed to pay the rent and her own credit card bill. My daughter has become extremely distant since. She started working overtime almost all week. I tried to talk to her. I even told her she can keep her original plan, but she just kept fixating on the things I've said, either ignoring my message or telling me how I've misunderstood her and made her feel bad. My husband thinks I'm the a-hole because he thinks our daughter is already stressed, and I kept reminding her to rent money she didn't have. Demanding rent in a fight made me the villain. Today she handed me a stack of cash, rent and credit card bills included. I tried to tell her the money will be in a family savings account. She rolled her eyes and said she didn't care. She then cut up the credit card I was managing the bills for. My husband gave me a look. I honestly don't think I deserve any of these treatments. I love my daughter very much, but I can't help but wonder if my husband was right. Am I the a-hole? Information. A lot of people asked what I said, so I'll answer here. The reason why I said it doesn't matter is because not only she confronted me on the spot. I don't think she would react that way if the fight hadn't been about money. It was in the heat of the moment. I may have called her a bad or shitty person, but that was it. I did not cross the line. I'll clarify the Christmas present part. We charged it in installments so she knew how much it cost. She is still entitled to use the credit card as she liked. She paid as much as she could with her part-time jobs. Like I mentioned in one of the replies, she never made that much. She barely paid any part of that iPad. It's mostly on her own food and clothes. My husband and I covered the rest. There isn't any debt. Nothing can be paid off with her income. If she doesn't want to pay rent, she doesn't have to. We wanted to contribute to the family. Based on how much she's making, the amount equal to the broader city average rent is what me and my husband decided on. She can afford it. She isn't struggling. Update. This will be my last update on the Christmas gift situation. So many people seem to be fixated on it. No, we didn't make her pay for it. We charged it on her card so she knew how installments worked. This was just a rare incident. We have a large sum of expenses. My husband and I paid it off at the end of each month. She made little money tutoring back in college, and she used the credit card for food and clothes. These were the expenses she actually paid for, and what she made was often not enough, and I had to cover the extra. The average rent is for a studio apartment in the broader city. As I've mentioned, it's impossible to find a decent rental in this area. There is no comp for it. I'm tired, and this will be my final update. You went about the whole thing the wrong way, OP, and now it might cost you your relationship with your daughter. Your daughter just got a job, and because you know it's a high-paying one, you already want to start telling her to pay off the debt she owes you, even before collecting her first paycheck. And when she tells you how ridiculous it is, you call her a shitty person and who knows what else. Your relationship with your daughter is very strained right now. Apologize for your mistakes and make changes to your behavior. Hopefully she gets how sincere you are and forgives you. Now for some comments. In what delusional realm must one exist to think calling her own daughter a shitty person is not crossing the line? You're only here because you've exhausted all opportunities for agreement from your immediate reference group. So in a last-ditch effort, you farm it out to strangers on Reddit. So you're the a-hole. And probably about to be NC too. Your daughter is so done with your crap. I would be too. OP, you called your daughter a shitty person. Neither of those are anything you should be calling your daughter in a rent argument. But there's a big difference between calling her bad versus shitty. If it's okay for her to not pay rent like you said, then why did you start hounding her like a bill collector to pay rent and call her a shitty person when she pushed back? You not only went about this the wrong way, but your relationship with your daughter will probably never be the same. There are many ways someone can contribute to the family instead of the way you went about it, which is only what shitty parents do. You're the a-hole. Getting insulted by your parents hurt like 1,000 times worse than from anyone else. Because you look up to your parents, you use their opinions as a sort of foundation for how you view yourself. They've always guided you, so when they call you a shitty person, it hurts because your sense of self can be based on their views. You also realize that you don't have anyone you can ever open up to when you have problems because they've already put you down once. Why wouldn't they do it again? My dad constantly called me shitty things when I had problems, and now he wonders why none of his kids want to take care of him while he can't work and doesn't have a retirement for himself because he figured he could just mooch off of his family for eternity. Story 3. My 31 female's daughter, Maddie, just turned 4. We had a family birthday party for her, including my mom, stepdad, sister Liv, her husband Stefan, their 5-year-old Callie, and my brother Jay. We were all, except Stefan, staying at our place overnight. But Stefan had a family event the night before, so came the day of the party. When he arrived, he brought Maddie's birthday present, which was one of those motorized rides-on cars. Liv didn't say anything, but she was quite clearly surprised. But I didn't take it too seriously, because she did say she'd left Stefan in charge of the presents, since he has a more flexible schedule, so I assumed she just didn't know what he got. I also noticed Callie was upset and wanted to play with the car a lot. 2 days ago, I got a call from Liv asking me if I could return the car to them as Callie really wanted it. I thought this was way out of line to ask and said no. Liv is now saying I'm the a-hole since I could easily afford to buy another one for Maddie, but she and Stefan can't. I could buy another one, but it was Maddie's gift. I think it's absurd she's asking for it back. My parents say since it's causing issues, I should just give it back or give Callie one also. But I think this whole thing is just ridiculous. Am I the a-hole? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole, it's a crappy lesson to teach Callie that if she wants her little cousin's gift, she can just demand it. Buy her one for her next birthday or holiday. The funny thing is that those toys seem pretty awful, and I'm betting Callie would be sick of it and outgrow it already if she had been given it. I'm betting by the time Callie visits again, Viv will be like, yeah, you can have it. I'm sorry, but I can't even imagine accepting a birthday gift that costs hundreds of dollars for my kid from a sibling when that sibling isn't wealthy. Liv didn't cause a scene at the party because she was so effing embarrassed, but I would understand in a heartbeat why the gift needs to be returned. It is damn cruel to make your sister beg. I would have pulled her aside and asked what was going on at the actual party. The brother-in-law's behavior is absolutely inappropriate and bizarre, and I don't understand why the OP thinks it's okay. While you're entirely in the right, part of me thinks she wants to return it. You said in another comment that Liv was raised to accept things with grace like you were. Likely they're in debt, so she can't return it in a few months from now. Also with a comment about, I thought you said it was a waste of money. That shows Stefan is more willing to spend on your kid than his own kid. Stefan isn't a good person either. Both of them acted badly. He dragged you into their issues. Be prepared for offering it a few months from now to kickstart a fight about hand-me-downs from her own husband.